Welcome back to Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn. We're going to make a sweet potato cheesecake today. It's going to be absolutely delicious. Let's get saucy. First, we're going to make the crust. So I've got one sleeve or 9 graham crackers here. I'm going to just throw these into my food processor. To that, I am going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar and 5 tablespoons of melted butter. And then we're just going to process that down. The butter is well incorporated with all of the graham crackers. I'm great at making a mess. If you've seen my videos, you probably know that. One more pulse. And that looks great. So again, it's gonna hold together nice. And I have my springform pan that I have already buttered the bottom. It's ready to go. So pour my crust in to my prepared pan. Get all of that out of there. It's not even baked yet and it smells good already. I'm just going to evenly press this into the bottom of the pan. And I'm going to go up the sides with it a little bit too. It's in there nice and tight, and it's, you can see just a little bit on the sides here, not too far up. And so that's going to go in the oven at 350 degrees for 10 to 15 minutes until it starts to get golden brown. And we'll take it out of the oven and let it cool completely. And while we do that, we're going to make the filling. Okay, so I have my stand mixer fitted with the paddle attachment. You could use a hand mixer for this if you don't have a stand mixer, that's absolutely fine. We're gonna start with 3 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. You can use the regular cream cheese, you can use the low-fat cream cheese, whatever you prefer. This has so much flavor in it that the low-fat cream cheese works just fine and doesn't change the flavor at all. It's got so much spices, so many spices and stuff in it. So to that, we're going to add 1 1/4 cups of sugar, and we're just going to cream that together until it's nice and smooth and fluffy. This a quick scrape down. Make sure to scrape the bottom and get so that all of your sugar and everything gets really well incorporated. Now to this, we're going to add our eggs. We have 4 eggs. We're going to do it one at a time and let it completely mix in before you add the next egg. Okay, let's give this another scrape. We got some cream cheese kind of stuck to the side there, on the bottom probably, so give it a good scrape so we can get everything really well incorporated. Now we're going to add 1/2 cup of, this is vanilla yogurt. You could use plain yogurt, you could use sour cream, whatever you prefer. I like the vanilla yogurt because we're going to add some vanilla, and this is just going to add to that flavor a little bit more. So we're going to add the yogurt in there. Let's put this back and scrape it out. And then while I add that yogurt, I'm also going to add my spices. I've got here 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and then another teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. I like to add the extra cinnamon to really bump up that cinnamon flavor because I love cinnamon, and it pairs so well with the sweet potato. It makes the cheesecake super delicious. So give that a quick mix. Get this incorporated. While I do that, I'm going to throw in a nice pinch of kosher salt. Just balance out all the sweetness that's in there from that sugar. and wakes up all the rest of the flavors too. So you always want to add salt when you're doing baking. All right, so that looks good. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my vanilla. I make my own vanilla extract, but just any good vanilla is great. So this is just a bunch of vanilla beans that I added some bourbon to and let it sit for about 6 months, and I've got my own great vanilla extract. And then I've got those beans in there too that I can use as well, because they're still good. You can take those out, squeeze out the seeds from the inside. It's almost like a vanilla bean paste, really, really good. So I've got my food processor back, and I just gave it a quick wipe to get most of those graham cracker crumbs and stuff out of there. Doesn't matter if there's a few still in there. And then I'm gonna take my sweet potato. Like I said, I roasted this myself, so you can use canned sweet potato if you can find it, that's fine. If you wanna use like a 15-ounce can of pureed sweet potato, or this sweet potato I bought was just over a pound. So once it's roasted, it's gonna yield me about 15 ounces. You don't have to measure it or weigh it out. Just one like large sweet potato. Lid on, and we'll give this a quick puree. Okay, that's good, that's nice and smooth. All right, back to this guy. And I'm gonna give this a quick scrape again. All right, and then pull this blade out, get this sweet potato in here. And the rest of it. This is one of my favorite recipes for the holidays. Sometimes I'll do this and I'll serve it with a bourbon caramel sauce or a caramel pecan sauce, but for this one, it's gonna do some whipped cream with it, which is equally delicious. I give this another mix, get that sweet potato really well incorporated. The last thing I'm gonna add is 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. If you are gluten-free and you found the gluten-free option for your crust, you can use cornstarch instead. All right, so that's good. Now I'm gonna pull my attachment, and to clean it, I'm just gonna use my fingers. Thank you to Erin McDowell from Food 52. I saw her do this, and I don't know why I've been struggling with scraping this with a spatula my entire existence. Just doing this actually gets everything off of there a whole lot better, and you know, then I can lick my fingers. That is so delicious already. And once it's in that crust and baked, it's gonna be amazing, guys. Trust me, you should definitely try this. Look at that, can you see that? I mean, that looks so good already. So creamy and delicious. It's gonna be amazing. You can see all that cinnamon and spices in there. So good, so good. If I had, you know, an 18-inch foil, that would be perfect because it would really cover the pan well. But I don't, I have 12-inch foil. That's what most of us are gonna get. So what I'm gonna do is take 2 pieces and lay them, kind of overlap them. And then inside, I'm gonna take this plastic wrap and lay it in here too. And the same thing, I'm gonna double this up, another right beside it. And then I'm gonna do another foil the opposite way I did the first one. Perfect. And our crust, you can see, it's kind of slightly golden along the sides. I don't know if you can see that well there, but slightly golden around the edges here. Beautiful. It's already firmed up quite a bit. So I'm just gonna fold this all up around here, nice and tight. And like I said, this is giving us protection from that water that we're gonna put in the water bath we're gonna put it in, so that water won't get inside. We're just gonna pour the filling right in. Look at that. Oh, I cannot wait to eat this. I have to because once we bake it, it's got to chill completely and then be refrigerated. It's really, really creamy, so it comes out just amazingly silky, but we don't want to cut into it before it's fully set, otherwise it's just gonna kind of become a mess, and that's not pretty, and we like to eat pretty food. So I'm going to take this to the oven, and I'm gonna pour water into the pan, like I said, to come about halfway up the side of my springform pan. And we'll bake again 350 degrees for about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And then what I'll do is we'll turn the oven off, open it, let it sit in there for about another 20 minutes, just as it cools down a little bit. Take it out and then cool it completely on the counter on a rack before putting it in the refrigerator. If you chill it too fast in the refrigerator, you run the risk of cracking the cheesecake. You know, not a big problem. It's going to be a delicious cheesecake anyway, but it's just going to look prettier. I see some bubbles starting to come to the top, so I'm going to grab a toothpick and pop some of those just so I don't get bubbles on my cheesecake. That's great. Actually, you know what? This is a little more jiggly than I wanted. Okay, so I gave it another 15 minutes, and you can see it's a little less jiggly now. So I'm going to leave this here for about 20 minutes with the door open and let it just cool like that gently for a minute, for like I said, about 20 minutes. And then I'll take it out and let it cool completely and refrigerate it. And tomorrow I will show you the final finished product. So my cheesecake is chilled overnight. Before I put it in the refrigerator, I took a paring knife and ran it around the edge. You don't need to go all the way down, just maybe, you know, half an inch or so, just to really loosen up the top of it. And I'm gonna do that again one more time, just to make sure that it's loose around here, it's not sticking. It's a non-stick pan, so it should come out pretty easily. And I'm gonna set it, got my cake stand upside down, I'm gonna set it up like this to take this off. So hopefully, if I open this up and unmold it, it should come out pretty perfectly. There's a little bit of a mess up on the edge over here, so I'll just take my knife and smooth it out a bit. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it looks pretty good. I mean, look at that. That looks absolutely delicious. You can see how the crust has come up a little bit on the side, nice thick on the bottom, and that beautiful cheesecake. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So now I'm going to put my cake stand right side up, and I'm going to attempt to take this off of the bottom of my spring form. So I'm going to just take my offset spatula here and gently go around the edge and loosen it up. Now again, this is a non-stick pan, so it should come off. And once I go around the edge, then I'll just gently go underneath the whole thing and see if I can't slide it right off of here. Sometimes I even just leave it in the spring form and take it out when I'm ready to cut a piece every time, but I thought I want to get it on a cake plate this time. There we go. Came off, looks beautiful. Clean up this crumbs from this cake plate a little bit. But look at that. I mean, that is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm gonna get a slice and taste it. I already know that it's going to be phenomenal. Got my slice here. Here it is. Give it a quick taste. They're so good. Got that crisp crust under there, delicious, silky sweet potato filling. All that wonderful cinnamon and those other spices in there. You guys have to give this a try. It's absolutely delicious. I'm gonna leave the link to the full written recipe in the description below. And let me know in the comments if you give this a try. Thanks so much for joining me again on Getting Saucy with Chef Lynn, and I hope to see you again.